Hello, I'm Benny Westside, and today I want to talk about the big news we got this week about the new character release strategy that Scopely's decided they're going to go with. I want to talk about what it means for the game, what it means for me and my content. And I'm actually going to start with their whole energy of wait a minute, we're trying something over here. That's what we've been hearing this whole year because they've been just trying stuff back to back to back to back. And I think at some point they need to realize that you need to have some consistency. It's wearing us out that you're trying all this stuff. And why are you trying all this stuff? It really feels like they're drunk or something or having a hard time standing up and trying to grab onto walls, railings, whatever's around them just to be able to stand upright and keep going. But they are going, they're strutting. What's going on? I really think it kind of comes down to this capitalist idea of plenty never being enough. It always has to be more. So they are just trying to get more money basically, and this newest strategy is them trying to monetize impatience. But before I get into it, I want to talk about all the things they have been trying and how it's been working. Beginning of this year, they tried to put or link character costumes to release offers on teams that have nothing to do with them. I'm talking about the Mephisto costumes for the legendaries from last year. It had nothing to do with those characters, their teams, or Mephisto. They just put Black Cat with Cabal and Green Goblin with Out of Time, whatever it was. It was completely irrelevant, confusing, and bizarre. It did work. I don't know if it worked to the scale that they wanted it to, but I was one of the suckers that fell for it. But I think in the long run, it actually hurt them because it showed me just how ridiculous it is to be buying character unlock offers. Because if I don't have the gear or the gold, especially to build, or in many players' cases, training mats to build those characters on unlock, it makes no sense to buy them. Many characters I bought ended up just sitting there for a couple weeks before I could rack up enough resources to build them. It was actually pretty stupid, and they did it to themselves. Whereas I might have been buying a character offer every now and then, this showed me how stupid it is. So they burned bright and fast on that one, for me at least. After that came one of the ridiculous ones, which was the anniversary event. They sat us down. They set up a whole meeting with the envoys. They're like, okay, we have an anniversary event coming up. Get ready. We want you to know all about it, and then give the information on to the players. What did we see with that anniversary event? It was not an event. It was just a series of things and claims and calendars and random things that gave resources for a whole month. It could have been a simple calendar. It could have been an inbox drop. There was no gameplay to it, and I think it really put into, or for me, put into perspective what an event is. We haven't really had events in Marvel Strike Force for a long time. Some things do feel like events, like Scourges, like Towers, but a lot of the things they call events are not events. They're just things to auto through or things to claim. Something that says do 10 raid battles is not an event. I already do raid battles. Something that says use these characters in Crucible is not an event. I already do Crucible. You're just forcing me to play it in a way that's not maybe ideal. That's not an event. I don't think I think Scopely's lost sight of what an event is, and that anniversary event really was the poster child for that. Then came something that was highly controversial, highly problematic, and it was the Logan Unlock. So before Morgan Le Fay, so before the Horseman, legendaries were unlocked similar to how Captain Britain is. You would need 5 characters at 5-star levels, or 5 stars, to be able to unlock the legendary at 5 stars. Then with Morgan, they brought the Scourge system, which in a way was great because it uh, brought this engaging new gameplay mechanic, or not gameplay mechanic, game mode, and it was fun, and it did feel like an event. But it made on the other hand, it made legendaries far too accessible, uh, and it they lost their sparkle. What made legendaries legendary really was the fear of possibly not unlocking them on their first run. That was lost with the Scourges, and I'm guessing it also hurt them financially because they were giving out legendaries at 3 stars and via gameplay. So um, I'm sure a lot more people unlocked legendaries, and that hurt them financially. So with Logan, they tried to somewhat go back to the stargating, but they messed it up even more because they also made gameplay stargated, and they ruined many things at once. They ruined the legendary unlock. They ruined the trial slash scourge game mode. Um, it just felt horrible, and they saw the backlash, and they were like, okay, you know what? Let's create a whole new tag just so we can Stargate characters. But then they sprung that on us and also botched that release. I think I really think the old way legendaries were unlocked was better, but that's just me. I think that sense of not being able to unlock them was a good fear and a good motivator. But after they've gone, or after they've went in with the Scourges, I don't think they should have tried to go back. I think they should just have 2 paths: legendaries unlock with Scourges. It You just have to use your muscle and get through it. And epics, I'm okay if they Stargate that. I just think it was dropped on us very abruptly, and the communication around that was awful. They should have planned it better. I think it was very reactionary to Logan. I don't think they intended for Captain Britain to be released that way initially. Uh, I don't know. This isn't something that was told to us in any way. I'm really just guessing, but that's what it felt like because the communication around it was horrible. But I would understand it, and I'd be very okay with it if they just did that going forward and said epics are basically just old style legendaries, and then legendaries are going to continue being unlocked via gameplay. In between that, though, they also tried a new thing by adding a whole new raid just so they could sell a 6th raid team because we only have 5 origins in the game. That was random. It was kind of ridiculous, and Alpha Flight's just this like random team that we all had to build for, an extra game mode. It, I think it fell under the radar between Logan and Captain Britain, but I think that was kind of a ridiculous situation in itself, and didn't get enough coverage, if you ask me. I thought that was kind of weird. Next up, they tried the graphics update. It still isn't working. I don't know what it's gonna take to get it going, but iOS still hasn't been able to see it at all. On Android, I think it's in test mode. I don't know. What I've seen of it, it doesn't look good. It doesn't render well. The lighting is off. Everything just looks extra shiny and high contrast. So I don't know what's going on with that. I work at a corporate firm. When they change software, it's because the new software is cheaper. My gut reaction is, are they cutting corners by going with a cheaper rendering engine? I don't know. Maybe their contract was 5 years, 6 years, and it ended, so they're swapping over to this one. I really don't know. It felt weird to me. I don't know what's going on with it. I hope it ends up looking good in the end when they completely implement it, but what I've seen of it doesn't look good. Alright, Strike Store. This one is more of a positive thing that they tried, and of course they're throwing so many things at the wall. Some of them have to stick, right? I would hope, and I think the Strike Store is one of them. The UPC system was shitty. The Strike Store when it first came out was also shitty. Now it seems to have found a better spot. The pricing tiers seem decent. Obviously, it only affects spenders, but it is something that I think was a better outcome of this slew of trial and error. Alright, after that, we got the stat overhaul. So they realized that kits were just creeping too much, and right, completely. Those kits are so long, and they're like, you know what, let's just release characters at this level so these characters with all these abilities can keep up with it, but their raw stats allow them to not have as much going on in their kit. And I would see that as a positive change. I don't know what it's going to look like in a couple months when we're saturated with a lot of characters in the new stat range. But for now, I like that the kits are a little shorter. A lot shorter. I appreciate that. After the stat overhaul, we found out that now we're gonna have a new Dark Dimension, this time based on ISO class. That's something new that they're trying. We don't know yet if this is a good thing or a bad thing. It's just a thing. We'll see how it looks. After unlocking Mephisto, I'm glad we have a new chase though, so I'm leaning more positive on this one. But yeah, once it's in the game and we're doing it, we'll know what it is. And I don't know if it means completely that we're gonna have 2 Dark Dimensions per year. But what are the implication of this? We have yet to find out. After the Dark Dimension, we got news of the bumps strategy being nerfed, and this I think was a harbinger of this week's news. We just didn't know it yet, but they decided they're gonna take longer before putting characters into bumps. It in the grand scheme of things, it's probably not a big change because bumps are ass anyway. But overall, it was a negative. It's not like there's nothing positive about it. So it's just them skimping out more on making shards available. And then finally, this week we found out that what they've been doing with the Annihilator team is the norm going forward. They've updated their release strategy. When I feel kinder, I call it the osmosis method, where they're infusing us with shards throughout several weeks. When I feel less kind, I call it the constipated release strategy, which I really think it's going to feel very constipated in the game going forward. This is really going to tamper our hype for characters, for teams, anything that's going on in the game. It, it's gonna nerf the excitement. They think they're cashing cashing in our impatience, but what it is I think it's gonna cash in our, or not cash in, but it's gonna um, wreck our excitement and hype. Um, just reflecting back, a lot of the characters that I've ended up skipping throughout the game, Cloak and Dagger, Big Time Spider-Man, had these long, dragged out release methods. Cloak and Dagger were, it had a good idea, but they didn't implement it well at all. So you could earn these credits from either Blitz or Battle Passes, and then you could use those credits to open orbs in the store for Cloak or for Dagger. And they were both 3-star unlocks, 100 shards, and the free-to-play unlock to get both of them took 60 days, 2 months to unlock both of them. The way their kits were, they were so interlinked that one of them didn't really make sense without the other. So basically, it took 2 months to have them unlocked, and by that time, I was like, I've been doing okay without these characters for so long while others had them. Why do I need it? And just after that 60 days was over, they released Eternals. And these two were meant to come as a solution to the Mystic Raid section. But then Eternals came out, and it was like, game over. Why even put a dime into Cloak or Dagger? And in-game dime, obviously I didn't buy them. That's why it took me 60 days. So, that was similar with Big Time. They don't realize that by dragging out these releases, people are gonna notice that they don't need some of these characters. Imagine a character's revealed in a blog. If it's the first character in the team, their offers go out maybe like the next week. But if it's the last one, it might take a month after that blog for that character to be released as offers into the game. Then a week after that, 10 days, the shards are gonna start trickling in, and with this new osmosis, we're gonna get them unlocked maybe a month after that, 45 days, 2 months after that. It's been 3-4 months since the character got revealed. It's old news. I'm not gonna want to build that character at that point. My sense is that they're going to eventually realize that this is garbage and walk it back. But let me tell you that they have no intention of walking back. The way this happened, they set up a call with us a day before and told us this is happening. They weren't asking for feedback. They had no intention of changing it. They just wanted to let us know so that we could prepare content ahead of time. And I don't even think they cared whether we reacted negatively or positively. Well, obviously, nobody was gonna react positively, but I don't think they had goals of caring about the negativity around it. They have the gumption. They decided. They did. But I really think this is gonna get walked back because it's gonna feel really desolate playing this game. Now that I said playing this game, it felt weird because what are we playing anymore? There's nothing to do. All we do is go in and sim stuff. If there's no Crucible, there's no war. What is there to do in the game? Tell me. Especially if we're not unlocking characters either. That's, we, not me, but like a lot of people talk about Battle World as this savior, this messiah that's coming. It's not gonna be much different than raids, I think. We haven't playtested it yet, so this is just me speculating and making a guess based on what we've been told. But I really think after the season or whatever starts and we get accustomed to it within a couple weeks, it's really gonna feel like a raid. Um, and raids aren't that exciting right now, are they? They release it, they release the team, and then it's over. So I I don't know. For me, I don't. As I told you, buying character offers is doesn't work for me. So I'm not going to be doing that unless it's like a very special kit, like a Black Knight or a Nightcrawler. If that's the case, yeah, then I will look at it. But otherwise, I'm gonna keep playing the same way I do. I might look at microtransactions, maybe a pass or two here and there. I don't buy every pass. That's not for me. Uh, I think the value is there in the passes, but even that $20, I'd rather stay in in my wallet than in the game. If it's just for a boring pass for a boring character, um, yeah, I'm not saying I don't buy passes. Every now and then I buy one, but I'm very selective with it. I'm very selective with character offers, especially after what they did with those costume releases. I still feel bad about it, but yeah. So that's my gameplay is not going to change. If anything, I am going to lean more into looking at how I can manage content uh, without new characters. You might know I do a lot of you can skip this character, you can skip this team style of content. If you're interested in that, definitely stay tuned because I'm gonna go deeper into that. I enjoy doing those explorations, and I think it's gonna matter even more now. In fact, this is a promise. Tomorrow I have a video recorded coming out tomorrow that's going to be looking at the Orcus team and see who we can skip. Yeah, so that's what my content's gonna uh, explore even further. Obviously, I'll still do um, the how to build crash courses. I think that's important. Um, but yeah, for me, not much is going to change. I think as players who spend less, we're going to get more creative. Uh, and you know what? Maybe that's gonna be the fun in the game, how to be scrappy. But overall, I do think eventually they're gonna walk it back. I don't know. That's my current guess for it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. Obviously, there's been a lot of discussion. It's been a couple days now. I know I'm late to the party. It was a busy week, but let me know what your thoughts are now that it's been some time and you've thought about it. But yeah, I wanted to share mine with you. If you're interested in more skip content or skip characters, skip team content, stick with me. I hope to see you in the next one.